Well, hello there, internet enthusiasts, and welcome to my illustrious geography show. Today we're going to talk about the weather. So you're joining me on planet Earth, obviously. This is actually in Venezuela, which is in northern South America. That sounds weird, northern South America. And this region here is called the Catatumbo area. This is Lake Catatumbo, and it empties into this ocean. What is it? Whatever that ocean is. So why have I brought you here? This little thing might have given it away. I'm going to talk to you about lightning. So lightning is a weather phenomenon that appears during a thunderstorm. Well, not exclusively thunderstorms. You can see lightning over a volcano, and it looks like a bright flash of electricity in the sky, which is essentially what it is. And it can occur in different ways. It can occur between clouds. It can occur from cloud to ground. So the most common type of lightning is icy lightning, which is intracloud lightning. Is that right? Intracloud lightning is also known among the common people as sheet lightning. It's when it's sort of just like a light switching on in the atmosphere. It's pretty and less dangerous than the cloud to ground lightning, the thunderbolt or forked lightning that you might be familiar with. Harry definitely is. There's also something called dirty lightning, and it occurs during a dirty thunderstorm, which is something that happens during a volcanic eruption. So what is lightning exactly? So lightning occurs when there's an imbalance of electrical charges in the atmosphere. So if you imagine that a thunderstorm is like a battery, you have the positive charged protons and the negatively charged electrons. So lightning is the spark that happens when both of these charges meets. This discharge of energy is insane. It's extremely hot. It's around 30,000 degrees Celsius, which is hotter than the surface of the sun. I don't know what that is in imperial speak. And that's why it appears so brightly, like a bright white hot flash in the sky, because it's literally hotter than the sun, which is kind of crazy when you think of how some people have survived being struck by lightning. So if I had to describe lightning in a couple of words other than stunningly beautiful, you would say it's like an electrical imbalance in the atmosphere. And I can hear you saying, what about thunder? What about thunder? Thunder is the curious byproduct of lightning. It's due to the rapid expansion of the air because of the extremely hot lightning. And this creates shock waves through the air, and that's thunder. That's the rumble that we hear. That's lightning in a nutshell, or in a bottle. So let's talk about lightning around the world. And yeah, back to Venezuela. So this area here is pretty unique. So the frequency of lightning that occurs here is unlike any other place in the world for a lot of reasons. The lightning strikes can occur for 10 hours a day, and they occur for at least 160 days of the year, which is insane. Let me show you a photo. So here's one image over the lake of, multiple lightning strikes hitting the water at once. This is cloud to ground lightning, and also some intra-cloud lightning too. Here's another one. It's so amazing. This is a very unique geographical setting. This lake is surrounded by 3 mountain ranges. I don't remember what they are. I think one's definitely the Andes, I think over here. Then there's the Parija Mountains, and I forget what the other mountain range is called. And so it's kind of like a little bowl or basin, which means the warm air that comes from the Caribbean is trapped in here, and warm air is one of the ingredients for a good thunderstorm. So when this warm air flows into the bowl, it rapidly rises, and then the cool air from the surrounding mountain ranges descends. And when these two converge, that is how a thunderstorm is born. Ladies and gentlemen. Oh, that's very formal. Yeah, that's the birds and the bees, the very basic birds and the bees of making a thunderstorm. So that is the main factor contributing to the lightning phenomenon that occurs here. One of the other factors, which is pretty interesting, I think it's interesting, is something to do with methane. So there is an enormous methane deposit under this lake. Methane is a gas, CH4, so that's 1 carbon atom and 4 hydrogen atoms. Methane, you might have You might know what methane is. It's something that's released from cow shit, and it's also what's responsible for one of the things that's responsible for what's known as the greenhouse effect, which I don't think I have to explain. If you've been into a greenhouse before, you know what that's all about. It's hot, and yeah, that's why one of the reasons why our planet is fucked, or why we're fucking the planet. So this methane deposit, what happens? The methane is released into the atmosphere, it rises into the atmosphere, and it doesn't remain as methane for very long, because up in the atmosphere there's something else floating around. It bonds with something known as a hydroxyl radical man, which is OH. So one oxygen, one hydrogen. And this thing has a neutral charge, but it's highly reactive. So when the methane comes floating up, they meet and they make something else. And what they make is, where?
In the living room.
Oh my God.
You want to see it?
It makes a meth radical and H2O.
Yeah, I'll make you one. It was big.
I think its body, the one in the car's body was bigger. Yeah, nice.
That's way too big.
Okay, so where was I? A methyl radical, which is MH3. No. CH3, my word. And H2O. They're the two things that are created when they react. So what does that mean? That is a process known as ionization, which enhances the electrical conductivity in the atmosphere and therefore creates more lightning. And the water that's produced with that formation also is conducive to more lightning or in unstable atmospheric conditions. Fascinating. So yeah, but it's mainly due to the fact that this is like a natural greenhouse with the mountains and the cool air meeting the warm air, yada yada yada, and thus we have lightning. There are other places where lightning occurs, nowhere near the frequency that it occurs in Venezuela. For example, in the Congo, the conditions there are pretty great for lightning. Florida, America's dong, the US's dong, there's a lot of lightning there as well. And in the Northern Territory in Australia, there's a lot of lightning there too. So lightning, typically when it's cloud to ground, makes contact with the highest available, spot or thing. And this was discovered by, a couple of people, one of them being a chap called, what was his name? Georg Lichtenberg. And he has a famous piece of lightning phenomenon named after him. It's called the Lichtenberg fractal or fracture or some shit like that. And it's basically the pattern that occurs when lightning strikes something, whether that's a tree or a body. And we can replicate this phenomenon with, electricity and some really dangerous techniques. I'll show you what that looks like in a second. Where was I going with that thought? Oh, I think I was saying, the thing about lightning striking the highest available place. Oh, that's right. They clued on to this and they started using lightning rods to attract lightning to, their homes or their workshops or whatever, so they could experiment with it. I'm surprised any of these people lived past 60. Let me show you an example of it striking something quite famous. Lightning has obviously made its way into literature and folklore and religion and mythology. I know all three of those are the same fucking things. But so when it strikes something like this, a lot of people assign meaning to that strike. Here it is. All right, so this is obviously J-Man, the Cristo Redentor, or as it's known in English, Christ the Redeemer. So this chap stands atop the mountain in Rio de Janeiro. It's one of the most visited tourist sites in the world. And a few years ago, Jesus was struck by lightning, and it happens a lot, but something curious happened. Here's the image of him being struck, and this is what happened. He got a little burn on his finger from that 30,000 degrees Celsius lightning bolt that shot him in the hand. He was obviously being naughty, wasn't he? If he was struck by lightning, the father was getting him in trouble for something. Who knows what? That guy, G-Man, he's a bit of a dick. You didn't deserve it, did you? You didn't deserve it. You're like, why me? Look how straight I can get my Saint, what is it? St. Paul's Basilica, St. Paul's Cathedral, whatever the fuck, I don't know. The biggest church in the world, which you'll find in Vatican City, the Holy See. That was also famously struck by lightning on the day that one of the popes decided he didn't like the role he was given, even though it's a lifer role. I've forgotten what that pope's name was. Ratner or something ratty. His nickname was the Bulldog, and he had something to do with Hitler, I don't know. Anyway, the day he packed it in, handed in his resignation to Papa G Daddy, that church was struck by lightning. And obviously that was meaningful to a lot of people. All right, so what else? There he is. When I saw this image, it reminded me of what's probably the most culturally inappropriate movie I've ever seen in my life, and that's Big Trouble in Little China. And here's an image from that. Here we go. This is one of the baddies from Big Trouble in Little China with this hat and the lightning coming out of the fingers. Kurt Russell film that was very popular in the 90s. All right, let me tell you about something else that's pretty cool that I like, that I've looked for, I've searched for. I haven't searched that much, but I'd like to find one. And that is a byproduct of lightning when it hits sand. So when lightning hits sand, remember it's 30,000 degrees Celsius. You can imagine what happens. It strikes the sand and it melts it. And when you melt sand, it turns into glass. And this lightning byproduct is known as a fulgurite. This is a fulgurite. So you can see it's even got the shape of the lightning when it struck the sand and it sort of exploded back out of the earth. And this is glass, lightning glass, it's sometimes referred to as. And so you'll find fulgurites on beaches, sand dunes, or on, sandy mountain tops. They're pretty cool. And the other thing I mentioned earlier was something called a Lichtenberg fractal, named after Georg Lichtenberg. So he discovered this pattern when lightning strikes something. So I'm going to show you it first. This isn't a lightning created version. This is something that somebody's made by typically rigging up a microwave, and it's really dangerous. Don't ever look it up or try it. Woodworkers really like doing it. This is the pattern. So this is the Lichtenberg fractal. And it kind of looks like the lightning itself. So when lightning strikes something, it follows the paths of least resistance. And so it travels through water as well, because it's obviously conductive. And this is what happens. It creates a burn in the wood that sort of, it's like a river delta almost. It's really beautiful. And this woodworker has burnt this wood by connecting it to this very dangerous microwave setup, burnt the pattern, and then they've filled it with resin. And yeah, people buy stuff like this. I've contemplated doing this myself, but it's extremely, extremely dangerous. And I read some horror stories online about people's cats jumping onto the live wire, or people just grabbing it by mistake or just doing something stupid. So I thought not worth the risk. Anyway, so that's that. I'm going to show you next. Trigger warning. This is the same pattern but on human bodies. These people have survived lightning, being struck by lightning. So yeah, it's not like it's pretty awful, but they're alive, so relax. So the image quality is pretty poor. So yeah, this is somebody's upper torso, their arm, and you can see the same sort of, the Lichtenberg pattern in this chap's armpit and shoulder. Here's someone else's on their back. So yeah, that's pretty fucking brutal. Whoops, there's that guy again. All right, and the fulgurite. So I'm going to show you something else now that isn't a lightning strike, or a person being struck by lightning, but it is far less likely for this to occur than it is to be struck by lightning. And the chances of getting struck by lightning are probably a little higher than you realize. So in the US, and I suppose it's different from country to country, it's probably extremely unlikely that you would get struck by lightning in, say, Iceland or, I don't know, Finland or something. Correct me if I'm wrong, Finland and Iceland. But in the USA, maybe this is something to do with the people that live there as well. No. Jokes. You guys know what's up. It's a 1 in 15,000 chance of getting struck by lightning. So that's, it's pretty unlikely, but you're more likely to be struck by lightning than to win Tats Lotto. It's apparently the same likely as getting a hole in one if you're an amateur golfer or writing a New York Times bestseller. That's those odds, 1 in 15,000. Yeah, I guess we should be happy about that. Now, I asked ChatGPT to come up with those those 1 in 15,000 scenarios, so I don't know how accurate they are because I asked it to do some other ones and they're fucking ridiculous. But anyway, this next thing is I calculated to be a 1 in 2. I didn't calculate it at all. I just fed in some of the information to old chatters and it's come up with this number. I mean, if you're someone that knows how to figure this shit out, correct me if I'm wrong. I thought it seemed like the odds were higher than what I thought. It's a 1 in 200,000 chance. And yeah, let me show you what it is. And it's from Google Street View. So this is an image taken on Victoria Place in Carlisle in the UK in 2009 by the Google Street View car. So this car visits this area of the UK maybe once every 3 years when they update the footage. As you can see down the bottom on the timeline there, it says April 2009, May 2012, and then every 2 years or perhaps 1 year after that. It's, you know, the Google Street View car probably drives down this street once. It probably takes 1 second or 2 seconds to pass by this corner, maybe takes a total of 10 photos. The Google Street View camera has like a rolling shutter and the images are overlapped, or I don't know exactly how it works. If you're a photography expert, let me know. Yeah, this is just a woman standing on the street corner, ready to cross, waiting for the man to turn green, perhaps on her way to work. She's got a little bag. She's just, standing there in her own world. Not particularly interesting on its own. Let's transport into the future now. And we're going to the same street corner in Carlisle on Victoria Place 10 years later. Here we are. As you can see, amazingly, against all the odds, the same woman is standing on the same street corner 10 years later as the Google Street View car has passed by. She's even standing on the same fucking street brick tile. Look at that. She's right next to that black part and 2 tiles back after the gutter. Look at that. So this woman's name is Leanne and her husband found this. Perhaps he plays Geoguessr, captured by the Street View camera. It is hard enough to get on Google Street View once, let alone twice, and let alone in the exact same spot you were captured last time. So when this particular occurrence was reported in the media, they said it was a 1 in 1 billion chance. And I thought that was slightly extreme. Because when you think about it, this woman, Leanne, she's obviously lived here for a long time, at least 10 years. And she probably walks this path every single day to work, perhaps. I don't know this for a fact. I'm just assuming. It's not like she's just holidayed here twice on 2 random days. So the frequency of her being here is quite high. But even then, she's only at this one spot perhaps once a day for 1 or 2 minutes while she waits for this to change. Yeah, the likeliness of the car passing while Leanne's there, unless the car decides to come here at a particular time of day as well. But again, I'm pretty sure they do whatever. So this one was in August and this one was in April. Kind of looks like it's potentially the same, part of the day, whatever. Who knows? Although one might be in summer and the other's in winter. She's wearing a dress here and here she's got a cardigan on. So yeah, I entered in all the information into chatters and I don't really believe it. So I said that the Google car comes here once every 2 years, presumably it drives down this street once in that time, and mentioned the potential or possible frequency of her being here at that time as well. And it came up with the number 1 in 200,000 chance. And it seemed like it should have been a lower chance than that. So 1 in a million maybe. But I don't know. If somebody knows how to calculate that just based on some hypothetical or presumed parameters. But yeah, in the media they said 1 in 1 billion. And that's outrageous. So I asked ChatGPT again. We're obviously best friends now. Hey there, it's future me, and welcome to Correction Corner. In reassessing the extraordinary case of Leanne Cartwright's identical captures on Google Street View a decade apart, it's become apparent that my initial calculations fell short of capturing the true essence of this statistical marvel, but that's what you get for not paying for the full version of ChatGPT. Sorry, I just threw the robot under the bus. But anyway, the scenario we're grappling with is one of such staggering improbability and a confluence of really precise variables that aligned not only once but twice, and they aligned across the chasm of a decade. Let's take a couple of minutes to break down the probabilities of Leanne's routine. Okay, so there's the 10-minute window within which she's at a specific location or a specific spot that we, the robot and I, estimate to be 250 days a year, based on things like holidays. 250 days a year is pretty generous. So that works out to be a 1 in 14 chance annually that Leanne is at that spot. Then there's the Google Car's 10-hour operational window, which offers a 1 in 60 chance of capturing her within her daily window. Now, these events, echoing each other 10 years apart, catapult the odds into the realm of the astronomical. If we were to oversimplify and consider these probabilities in isolation, we would be looking at around a 1 in 4 million chance of Leanne being in that spot at the same time that the Google car passes. However, this doesn't really paint the full picture, as it fails to account for life's inherent unpredictability and, I guess, all the interdependent nature of events. As we just discussed, the probability of the first capture is a 1 in 4 million chance, and that involves being in the right place at the right time as the Google car passes by that specific spot. Now, I'm not just talking about anybody being captured on Google Street View, by the way. I mean the probability of her being there when that car passed there on one occasion. So this next probability, and that is the exact same conditions 10 years later. Now, this is highly speculative, but let's just say there's a 1 in 100 chance that Leanne's routine hasn't changed, and that's a pretty generous statistic, because when you think about the past 10 years of your own life, what are the chances that you have been on the same street corner at roughly the same time of day, 250 days of the year? It's probably pretty unlikely, more unlikely than 1 in 100. So the other conditions we have to consider, one specific day in 10 years of the Google car passing on the correct day, and the 1 in 60 chance of it passing in the correct minute. Additionally, we might add the chance, the probability of the person assuming the same position in that spot. This number's fairly arbitrary, and it could be much higher or much lower, but it was assigned a 1 in 30 chance of being in the same spot or same position. Not the same spot, the same position she was standing in. Yeah, but that one's pretty arbitrary. Anyway, now for the next number. That is combining the probabilities. So we're considering the joint probability of two events, the first capture and the repeat capture under the exact same circumstances. And that probability is a staggering 1 in 7.1 billion. If you would like to even try and imagine a more improbable scenario, go ahead, but here are some to illustrate how ridiculous this is. You could liken this to a specific cosmic event, for example, a gamma ray bursting from this very specific distant star and firing directly at Earth. That would have a similar 1 in several billion likelihood. Another scenario you might wish to imagine or consider is if you, say, tossed a message in a bottle into the ocean and then rediscovered that bottle on a different beach across the world many years later. Considering the ocean currents and environmental factors and just the sheer coincidence of it, that would be a similar likelihood to what happened to Leanne. It would be like witnessing a specific star going into supernova in the sky and seeing it as it happens at that moment when you look up amongst the billions of other celestial bodies available. That's how rare this would be. We're essentially speaking of a likelihood that's so minute. It's comparable to being the one chosen individual in almost the entire population of the Earth. It's similar to finding a single unique marked grain of sand in a desert, essentially. Yeah, it's kind of mind-blowing when you think about it. The near impossibility of this scenario, it kind of makes you want to, it's kind of thought redefining, or it sort of redefines probability or possibility if you think about it too much. I probably got more existential about this than was required, not that it was required, but one of these like fake scenarios that ChatGPT conjured reminded me of something I did when I was a young Yana working in Tuckerbag, and I must have been really fucking bored because I opened my register and they took out several coins, silver coins, not silver, nickel or whatever the hell they're made of here. And I took a Sharpie and I wrote the letters of my name on the coins, a letter for each coin, YEAHNAH. No, that's not my real name. And then I continued serving groceries to the public, selling groceries to the public, and I distributed those coins with my letters, my name letters on them, and I was so convinced that they would return to me one day in some shop, some random shop somewhere, and I would be able to gather them over the course of my life. And I remember thinking after 10 days, wow, it's weird that I haven't found a single letter yet. And it was probably more likely, obviously it was more likely that I would find one than Leanne appearing on that corner, especially since I grew up in a regional town. But I never got one, but I never have. Still waiting for those coins. Anyway, back to the show. So yeah, I don't know about the validity of everything we just read, nor the 1 in 200,000 chance of being captured on Google Street View twice in a row in the exact same spot. That just doesn't seem possible, does it? But here we are. Here's Leanne with her pink bag, and she's even got a bag in both images as well, carrying it on the same side. In this one, she's feeling a bit sassy. She's got the hand on the hip, perhaps going shopping with her new purple watch. And Leanne here just looks like she wants to fucking go home. She's had enough after a long day of work. That's how I've interpreted both of these images. Less likely for this to happen than to be struck by a bolt of Lichtenberg. So have we talked about lightning enough? I think that we have. But before we move on to the game, I just want to show you one more thing. Here we are. So this is in Indianapolis in Indiana on Madison Avenue. I wonder how many Madison Avenues there are in the USA. Probably a lot. Should we find out? No, we don't care. We don't care. All right, we don't care. All right, so this is an image captured by the Google Street View car. As you can see, the Street View car, the reverse part of the car, I'm assuming. Oh no, yeah, because we're on a one-way street, has captured some cloud-to-ground lightning, a lightning bolt here, as you can see, which is pretty phenomenal, I think, capturing this phenomenon on the Google Street View car, because it's my understanding that the shutter speed is quite fast, around 1/100th of a second. And the reason why is because if they kept the shutter open any longer, you would have overexposed images. I mean, this is a very good image anyway, but the cars would appear as blurs, the lights would appear blurry. You know how cameras work. I barely do. Capturing a bolt of lightning while the shutter's only open for 1/100th of a second is pretty amazing. Typically, lightning photographers will use a shutter speed of anywhere from 4 seconds. It's open for 4 seconds, open for 4 seconds to up to 2 minutes. So I thought that was pretty cool that happened. It was the perfect, shutter opening as the lightning bolt struck. But I mean, it's probably more common than I realized, more common than, Leanne's freak occurrence. Okay, so on to our thrilling game, and these 4 maps are loosely inspired by what we just spoke about. The first one is by a chap called Zeus's Lightning, and I guess that's how it came up. But there is a lot of lightning in mythology, and I saw this one. It's called Poseidon's Trident. Poseidon's Trident. Trident is, of course, that big spaghetti fork he holds to threaten the people near and dear to him. Poseidon, otherwise known as Neptune, Nepes, depending on the mythology, is in charge of the water in the ocean, the sea. That's a lot of responsibility for a really hot-tempered and kind of maniacal man, or fucking whatever, god. There's that one. And I'll just reveal the others as we go through. One of them has nothing to do with the theme today, but I just wanted to play it, probably because I have some weird class chip. All right, so let's begin with Poseidon's Trident. I do not expect to do well on any of these maps. We won't move. You know the drill. Okay, this is what I think of when I think of the tumultuous ocean, the waves. This is not what I think of, but anyway. Why would they have called this Poseidon's Trident? We have a letter here. an A. Is that a Greek letter? Got the blue on the number plate. It's a little bit of urban decay. Some rundown infrastructure. Older looking cars. And I was going to say, I wonder if this is like Greece or something, but that now just looks like not Greek. Does it? Hold on. This is Cyrillic or a Slavic language. I've forgotten which letters to look at to determine between Ukrainian and Russian or whatever. Oh, look, but here we are in Bulgaria. So there you go. I'm not in any of those places. All right. It looks like it's going to be one of those maps that's all just in the same place. You never know, do you? All right, we're going to blast through this Bulgaria map. Don't know why it's called Poseidon's Trident. There you go. Looks like an interesting place, Bulgaria. I would like to visit one day. I love maps that do not pertain to the theme title in the slightest, but I mean, each to their fucking own, right? Gosh, this guy's got a touch of scoliosis. He has a shirt that says LA Gear, but again, we're most certainly in Bulgaria. Getting one of the best scores of my life here. Classic looking Soviet park here. Sorry, this is a ridiculous basketball hoop. Why does it need this much support? That is a lot of metal for one little hoop, but whatever. Be a pretty unsteady game of basketball on this court, wouldn't it? And there's no lines either, but you know. And a fitness bar, or a monkey bar over here. All right, it's a nice sunny day. It's summer in Bulgaria. We've got some dish blight, a lovely looking conifer or a pine tree. Let's say we're in southern Bulgaria. Maybe we're near the ocean, actually. Let's give that a crack. Nope, we were up in northern Bulgaria where I was going to pick. All right, last one. Cool corner. Again, Poseidon's Trident. Don't really know what that's about. This is a cool car. And got the green van here too. All right, look, we see some hills, so perhaps that will guide us to this area of mountains here. Seemingly wrong mountain range, but that's fine. All right, let's view. We got 500 points out of, you know, a possible whatever the fuck it was. Many, 25,000. Yep, good work. Us. All right, this next one is Churches of the World. It's by Kira. It says church architecture is beautiful. What better way to share that beauty than a map of churches of the world? Kira plans to add every church of the world. You'll be adding churches from now until the end of time, Kira, because the Catholic Church, they have a lot of land and a lot of space. It's kind of unfortunate how much space they occupy for a building that's seemingly useless a lot of the time. Spends nearly all day being locked and or empty. But there are lots of great things that occur in churches too. Lots of community groups meet in churches, and they do have, you know, services and whatever. But do we need that many? That is the question. No, we don't. I don't object to churches, especially if they're used for good. And there are some beautiful churches in the world. I'll give you that, Kira. So let's play. And this is obviously tied to the theme because of, you know, that whole God throwing the lightning bolts into people that he hates, aka everyone. All right, churches of the world. They better be, yeah, it's just going to be every single run-of-the-mill fucking church, isn't it? Here we've got a classic American church, I'm assuming. Much too big. And the, you know, inevitable phallus attached up here. Classic T, probably the most misappropriated symbol of all time. The alphabet is raging that it's taken its, well, I don't know, 15th, 16th letter. It must be further down the letter chain than that. And yeah, it's just a random brick fucking church, isn't it? All right, we have the classic American mailbox here. Almost as common as church. And where does this look like? Looks very flat, doesn't it? We have a boat there. Doesn't really help, does it? Flat bricks. We've got the brick clue. Slow. Run slow. Now, what type of church is this? Perhaps that would help. Or perhaps not. Kind of sensing that this is somewhere like around here in this area. Maybe like somewhere near Kentucky. We'll try that. We'll go Campbellsville. There's one of those completely uninspired US town names. You know, I'm pretty pleased with that. I was going to go Tennessee first, but there we go. Kentucky. It wasn't Kentucky, it was Tennessee. But I think I nailed the landscape and the vibe of the place, as Daryl would say. On to the next church. Here we are. I've got some classic white pillars here. This looks more like a, I don't know what this looks like. Curious design. It says it's a Methodist church, the Trinity United Methodist Church. That's how you name a church. You select from the lexicon of 50 religious words. You put them in a jar and you shake it up and you pull out the words in a particular order, and that's what you get. The Trinity Peace Love God Jesus Christ Church. How many people can I offend in one episode? Doesn't matter, does it? Because I'm joking, guys. It's a joke, okay? It's a joke. Okay, they have parking available. That's nice. There's something, a silver lining there. Oh, tiny little number plate. That's concerning for me. And this building over here with the turrets. Is this... Hold on. Oh, that's an American road sign there. Classic miniature child's barn. That's a pretty cool cubby, isn't it? A mini barn. Ooh, you're in Raiders country. And that looks like the little Mighty Ducks symbol, doesn't it? I have no idea where this is. Raiders country. Looks kind of nice and hilly. 219. I'm going to guess somewhere near California, I think, for this one. Maybe, what, Sequoia National Forest? Somewhere up around here. Lake Isabella, that sounds nice. Almost Heaven, West Virginia. Probably near the Shenandoah River. That was a terrible guess, wasn't it? All right, on to the next. Wonder who the Raiders were. Here we are. We have a little cute little church. Can probably only have a service of 5 people. And all 5 of those people obviously arrived together in this van. So this is the Great Commission Church. This person's name here. Don't know anything else about what all of that says. Landscape kind of looks similar to the last one in, what was it, West Virginia? Should we go West Virginia again? Let's do it. Although we're seeing the weatherboards rather than the bricks this time, which, oh no, that's brick. It's a split, isn't it? I kind of want to just go West Virginia again, but maybe a little south of West Virginia. Let's try. Holy Tostada Grande. It just kind of looked the same. Oh, look, it's Pigeon Forge. We did a whole special on Pigeon Forge once. I completely forgot about that. Look, here it is again. This says the island in Pigeon Forge. Should we do a whole... No, we've covered Pigeon Forge. We've got to get another town. Probably the most exciting name to come out of the USA, actually, Pigeon Forge. Although I have just spotted another one called Soddy Daisy. Was I too quick to judge the USA? Oh, then here we go. We've got Athens. We know all about that and how you like to take names of places. Soggy Daisy, was it? Are we actually in Canada? No. All right. It's probably my best USA score ever. Let's face it. Let's face facts. Oh, okay. So this is a spicy looking church. No, it's the opposite of spicy. It's chilly. And this is, if I was the super villain, this would be the church I'd attend. Cold, hard surfaces, surrounded by snow, a hint of a moon, just the crescent. And they've even got the moon on the promotional material here. And this looks to be in, well, I guess this is somewhere, these fucking rock formations. Somewhere Scandi. It's the Kirko Spusa. This view of the ocean. I'm going to guess Finland for this one, I think. Kiparinkatu 8. Yeah, might be a goer. Let's go and we'll just pick somewhere in Helsinki, because where else are we going to pick? We don't know. Ooh, there's that fucking word. Espoo. Espoo. That was a pretty good guess as well. Not too far from Helsinki. That was an amazing guess, actually. And Vanta. Espoo. Love those double vowels that you see. Okay, here we have another little church. Nice. Is that a corrugated iron roof? And a little cemetery in here. This isn't in the US. This is in... Slow down. I'm a bit worried about this one. Oh, it's a rugby field. Yuck. I'm guessing that it's probably... Oh, look at these poles. Oh no. Oh no. Is this in... I can't tell if this is New Zealand, Australia, or the UK. Let's refer back to the tried and true shadow compass test, although it's not working, is it? Don't they have yellow in the... I'm seeing all of these, which they seem too high and too bright to be the Tassie possum guards, but Maybe they are, but do you know what? This is a Stobie pole, and Stobie poles are present in Tasmania and also in, South Australia. So this must be a patch of the rare Tasmanian Stobie poles, which only occur around, I don't know. Let's see what this sign says. And fucking nothing. It's just blur, 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 blur. Bitch, 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 bitch. All right, let's just go to somewhere outside of Hobart. Although, yeah, we'll go there, near Richmond. It was fucking New Zealand. So New Zealand have Stobie poles. Is that a thing? Did we know that? Have I spoken about that before? I was going to guess New Zealand, but seeing that pole and the possum guard threw me. It threw me. I didn't know they were there. That's disappointing. But 1 trillion gazillion billion latitude points, of course. That was almost my worst guess. That's so disappointing. So disappointing. Anyway, all right, that is churches. Let's move on. So this next one is called Rain, Snow, Fog and Stormy Weather. So I forgot to give you a little spider update, actually. You might have noticed that Wilbur Wagons burst into the room earlier to inform me that there was a spider in the lounge room, and it's a huntsman spider. And we've decided to never use the lounge room again because that's his house now. All right, I'm going to take a quick break and then I'll come back and play the final 2 maps. I won't reveal the final one yet. Not that it's particularly exciting because it has nothing to do with lightning. And we're back. We've also downed the house lights to create a little bit of mood lighting because it's more flattering. Having a pixelated face. Okay, so this next one pertains to weather, which is the theme. The weather phenomenon was the theme. So this is 3,000 handpicked locations with inclement weather. And the map maker, Amy Ann, says, I love this kind of weather and felt that the added challenge of limited visibility would make for a fun map. So essentially what Amy Ann is saying is that this is a crap map. Anyway, it says there might even be a rainbow or 2 in some locations. They've also said that they'll continuously update this map, and Amy Ann has stayed true to her or their word because they last updated this map yesterday or today. So good on you, Amy Ann, for updating this inclement weather map. So let's play and see if we can get a really crap score. So this is just a pretty shitty overcast day, isn't it? Good one, Amy. All right, where might we be? There aren't many clues. Unbroken outer white lines. I've forgotten the road line colours, and not even a street sign really, other than this one down here, a little white one. Kind of makes me think that this is in England, maybe. I wish I knew a darn thing about poles. That's an old looking pole, isn't it? I think I have to just go England for this one. Let's pop it in. We'll go somewhere close to Wales, around the Bannu-Byn-Chnog National Park. If this is New Zealand or Australia, I'll cry. Okay, it was over in Brussels. It was in Belgium, not Brussels. Not much I can do about that now. I can't turn back the clock and pick Belgium, can I? All right, it's 12 kilometers to Freiburg and Mount Pelerin. So that's handy because I think we know where Freiburg is. We've talked about it before. This sign says CH, which we know from a previous episode it's a curious, what's this called? Domain blah blah thingy. CH is for Switzerland, and it's I've forgotten what it is now. Something to do with the Helvetica font. Anyway, let's go to Switzerland, and we know that it's 12 kilometers to Freiburg, so that is useful, is it not? See, I was thinking of this Freiburg here in Germany, and then there's this Feldberg. There's 2 Freiburgs. I'm going to say it's somewhere up here near Basel, then. That'll do. Yeah, okay. Was wrong. It was down here in Vevey, and 12 kilometers to Freiburg. There's probably a million Freiburgs, right? All right, never mind. At least we guessed Switzerland. Here we are on a very dreary looking beach, but a beautiful one. Rock formations out here, eroded by Poseidon's ocean. Got a few people pottering around the beach. Someone set up a little tent and a little fort house thing here. It's like the beach out of Twilight, isn't it? One of the beaches they go to in Forks. Is that what the place is called? We've got the lighthouse out here too, and these are surfers. We're looking north. The ocean is west of us. We're looking south. It's north-south. Yeah, it's still it's still west, of course it is. All right, we're looking north. The ocean's on our left. Then this is on the west coast somewhere. I kind of want to pick the US for this one. I think I might. Let's try Anchor Bay. That sounds fun. All right, it was much further north. It was, yeah, near Cannon Beach, far from Portland, in, yeah, the state of Washington or Oregon. One of the two. Might have just snuck into Washington. On to the next. Interesting looking place. These look like volcanic rocks here. Got a little waystone. I'm going to guess Hawaii for this one. I think could be any island anywhere, couldn't it? But the volcanic rocks make me think an island with a volcano, but again, there are multiple volcanoes on islands. So let's just go to Hawaii. We'll pick somewhere out here. That'll do. All right, it was actually an island off of Japan or Taiwan. Japan, I think. Damn, that was bad. Final location, and this is gonna be Bolivia. Because of the brickwork, we know to be Bolivian. It can be Peruvian too. This looks like a fairly high altitude sort of place. Let's try and find a place name. The water tank on the roof. Guys are dressed warmly, selling some cream. And I've got the vacuum out. Dogs. I got chased by a dog in Bolivia once, but the air was so thin I could barely run away from it. It probably could have attacked me, but I think it felt sorry for me and just gave up. There wasn't much challenge involved. I'm going to say this is somewhere slightly high altitude. We've got some sort of adventure style cars around here, which are more common in the higher altitude areas close to the Uyuni Salt Flats, which is where you would go adventuring. So perhaps I will just pick Uyuni, maybe somewhere near it. It might be Potosi, actually. Potosi might be a better guess than Uyuni, actually. I might go Potosi. It was just La Paz. All right, never mind. At least I guess Bolivia. Not my worst score ever, obviously. Pity about that island one. That would have been pretty good had I nailed that. All right, on to the final unrelated map of the evening. It's rich communities. Oh no, it just says in Southwest Connecticut and Long Island, New York. We'll just play it anyway, whatever. We'll just rip through this one. Admire the rich houses. Yeah, this is gonna be boring. Let's pick a random map. Let's get out of this one. Okay, I've just picked a random word, and the word is balloons. 51 locations. The caption says floaty friends, and one person's liked this map and 29 have explored it. So not quite a crap map candidate, but we're not playing crap map spectacular. Let's check out the floaty friends. All right, so where is the said balloon? I suppose these locations have been updated and the balloons have long since popped, floated into the atmosphere and then dropped to the ocean straight into the windpipe of a turtle. Actually, balloons might be a good episode for next time. A particular balloon incident, in fact, that might be interesting to talk about. Anyway, let's forget about balloons for a minute and just focus on how we're in Italy. I'm pretty sure we are. And I guess I'm getting some Sicily vibes here. Maybe. Doesn't say. I think I will just go Palermo. It's fucking Catania, a city I've spent a lot of time in. Anyway, okay, finally we got some balloons. All right, we got 3 pink balloons carried by 2 women walking through a mall. Oh look, we got the... Oh no, that's not what I thought it was. Okay, supermarket. I want someone to make a map of supermarket interiors. That would be my dream. I love going into foreign supermarkets. Not markets, supermarkets. So yeah, somebody make that because I can't be bothered. All right. It says Alchemist Pranoka. Is this Sweden? This shop looks nice. Check it out. There he is. I really want a chocolate, but I can't. All right, we're going to go Sweden for this one, I think. Based on the little teardrop. Not that, there are teardrops everywhere. Including Lithuania. Okay, on to the next one. Again, severe lack of balloons. But that's okay. This is reminding me of Camden with the interesting facade out the front of the building. But I just saw a word that said that it's Portsmouth in South Sea. So that's useful to someone. We have a street address too, but you know how I don't really like to spend too much time looking for places exactly. I actually don't know where Portsmouth is or South Sea. And as you can see, mouth is a very common suffix for British place names. We've got Plymouth, we've got Dartmouth, we've got Tynemouth, Sidemouth, and more mouths, I'm sure. Where is the mouth we're looking for? I feel like mouths are on the water typically, are they not? Portsmouth, Falmouth. It's got to be down around here somewhere, right? So many mouths. I feel like it's a big one. Dartmouth. Can I be bothered? That is the question. Let's just click Exmouth. I was so close. Just, gosh, I lost the patience. I knew it was a big one. Whatever. Who cares? Oh, finally a balloon. These are crap balloons. I hate these balloons. Those weird metallic ones. All right, we are. What is going on out here? We've got a lot of horses. Got this van. Multiple horses. There's an event taking place. That much we know of. I think it's a horse race. There's a balloon there too. I'm going to say this is somewhere in northern China or in Mongolia. That's my guess. There, that'll do. It was just Mongolia. I don't know why I didn't fucking pick it. It was in Ulaanbaatar. I think last time something similar happened, a similar location, I was like, definitely Mongolia. And it was northern China. And today the opposite has happened. Never mind. All right. Oh, here we go. I've got the art, my friends. Wonder if when this piece arrived, if it was actually inflated. I highly doubt it. There's no way they would have all fit on there inflated without popping off. So this looks like a salon, a fancy one. Gosh, look at that mirror. It's like the plinth out of fucking, I don't know, Space Odyssey 2001 or something. And the lights, geez, I hope they didn't pay the Sparky for that installation. That is a bad job. Broody Beauty Room for 7. The mags. All right, let's look outside. Long white number plates and a big wall. Don't know. I kind of want to pick somewhere in the Middle East for this one. I don't know if that's a very good pick. Maybe I'll go Turkey or something. Yeah, I don't know. I think it could be... Oh my god, it was Russia. Oh, that was terrible. What? There was nothing there that indicated that it was Russia to me. What about to you? Was there some glaring hint? Maybe the ridiculous salon name was the hint. All right. Let's play one more bonus round of World Interiors. I haven't played this one before. I usually play Inside All Over the World or something like that, but let's give this one a crack. We do like Golem. I like inside maps. They're fun and pretty impossible to figure out too, might I add. All right, here we are. An interior. It's always a nice snapshot into a culture, a person, a place. You can learn a lot. Look at this enormous dinner knife. That's pretty big, isn't it? It's a massive dinner knife. What are they serving here? All right, we've got a fire hydrant. Is that French? I think that looked French to me. French word for extinguisher. Extinguisher, air conditioner. All right, let's just pick France for this one. We'll go south of France. Oh, there you go. It was the south of France. And look at that latitude. What a great latitude score. All right. Wherever this is heaven on earth because they actually stock Diet Coke in the fucking fridge. Unlike some places I've visited recently. This country already wins 100 points, whatever it is. It's probably the US. Let's have a look. Oh, at campus food. Got some messages up here on the board. It says, I love pizza by Sarah Dester. Interesting. Just got your name right up there, don't you, Sarah? FYI, Sarah is awesome. Someone's got a crush on Sarah. Sarah Dester. I love pizza. Yada, yada, yada. Great with food. Great to go. Coke. Love it. Welcome, pizza guy. No smoking inside. That is fair enough. $12.99 plus tax. Yeah, there's only one idiot nation that adds tax afterwards. Unless that means tax. No. You would never see that on the sign. All right, here we go. It's on Connecticut Avenue, NW, which is, where's that again? NW. What state's that? Newark? Is that a state? No. Fucking NW. New Brunswick, Vermont, Massachusetts. We should be able to see it here. NM. Why can't I think of it? It's because it doesn't exist. Where's Newark? It's the only thing I can think of. Fuck. I honestly can't think of it. But I'm just going to pick somewhere up here. It's in Washington. Yeah. I don't know what the NW stands for. Northwest. Okay. Northwest Washington. Whatever. Alright, on to the next. World Interior. And we're in another American... Yeah? This is a ice hockey jumper or a football jumper, is it not? Oh, there is that. Buffalo. Oh, and there's some news. Oh, here we go. Giants. That's national sport coverage though. Yeah, so we're in the US and got the Diet Coke in the fridge again. Very interesting. The View, that show, and the footy. Footy's on. All right. At Geoguessr Foundation. Do not know. No clue whatsoever. James Dean, Marilyn Monroe. It's the real thing. Coca-Cola sends thirst flying. There's a real Coke appreciation and some fresh pizza. Somewhere up here. Bit too far south. That one? Okay, we're in... What the fuck is this? I don't know how this exercise equipment works. It's... Yeah, you just hold onto the handlebars and just simulate the running. This isn't in... Where is this? This isn't Australia, is it? Something Bay. Oh no. Please tell me this isn't 20 minutes a week to a HEALT healthier, stronger you. Oh my god. Somerset West, hey? Curious. Green exit. Body tech. Really unsure about this one. Damn it. There's a little domain thing there. I think this might be... I've forgotten what the sign situation's like in other countries. I'll be spewing if this is... Oh, it's got the yellow street poles. That's... What is that? It must be South Africa. Is it South Africa ZA? It must be. Because SA would be taken by someone else. I don't know. It looks a little bit troppy, doesn't it? Tropical. Maybe we'll go Cape Town for this one. Amazing. Good score. Well done. I mean, we had the code. Final fucking location. Patagonia? Could we be in Patagonia? What are the odds? Oh, that's a pretty good Patagonia clue. An inside wood fire. Because Patagonia is obviously fucking freezing. And we've got some Spanish language up here. So that lends itself to being in Argentina, doesn't it? So Patagonia is down... Or Patagonia is in Chile or both? I always forget how far down it is. I'm just going to guess somewhere in here. Up a bit further. Ah, there it was. In Cochrane. Ah, there you go. Not a bad score for interiors, if I don't say so myself. I had some pretty good clues though. That's the end of that meandering episode on lightning and other random shit. Hope you enjoyed it. And yeah, stay tuned or look out for the next episode if you are mildly interested in literally anything I have to say. That's it, and hooroo.